All right, everyone. We are live, and it is Penn State week. I have Johnny Olden tonight. He is backstage. Let me make sure I could see myself here. Let's see. I want to thank those of you who liked this stream before it got started. There is the red icon. There is the ad. And there's me. All right, so we are live. So whoever comes in, please smash that like button. Well, as I always say, shout out to Bo Lytle. Respect is earned. If I've earned your respect, please smash that like button. If you're new, please consider subscribing to the channel. Help push me to 1,300. I'm somewhere in the 12 range. And I could always use more subscribers over here. So me and Johnny, we're going to do a Q&A. We're going to talk about the prediction for the Penn State game. I think a lot of folks were hoping Michigan wouldn't play out the rest of the season, but they have not been called off the field yet. So this is the final, this is the big stretch. This is what we've been talking about, and this is what we've been looking forward to the entire season. So I'm going to play my intro here, and then I'm going to bring Johnny Olden up, and we're going to talk about what's going on. There's a lot going on, and then we're going to look towards Saturday out in Happy Valley. Nuber says, this is a great collab. I appreciate that. I'm always honored to have Johnny come for these big game weeks. All right, let's go blue. All right, everyone. I normally have a little monologue planned before I bring my guests up, but I'm not going to talk long tonight because I have some discussion points here, and we want to get to the prediction for the game. And I think it would be cool if we go over some of the statistics. And there's a lot surrounding the program right now that we're all keeping our eyes on, in addition to the games. So I think, with that, I'm just going to go ahead and bring Johnny up. Everyone, before I do, for branding purposes, YouTubing is a business. For some people, it's a hobby, but you got to put your brand out there. This is Big Discussions 76 Sports. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar. Those of you who know me, you know that I am a Michigan alum, and I am a proud supporter of our football team, the Wolverines, our beloved maize and blue. I saw a lot of coaches. Let's see, when I got to the university in the fall of 1999, that was Tom Brady's last year. And I think me and Johnny are going to talk about this a little bit there in terms of our running game this year. It looks kind of like the running game in Tom Brady's last year. It wasn't dominant. It was effective, but it wasn't dominant. So I was there. I saw Lloyd Carr's last 5 to 6 years. I saw him get run out of town by Jim Tressel. I saw the coming of Troy Smith, John Navarre. I saw Drew Henson's junior season. I felt the disappointment when he decided to go play for the New York Yankees. And I saw the coming of Rich Rod, and then Denard and Devin and Brady Hoke, and then I saw Jim come back. So I've seen some things since I've been an alum and I've been in the program, and So I'm gonna welcome Johnny up, and we're gonna talk about what's going on now, and we're gonna talk about what to expect on Saturday. Tall Dude says, Raheem Gaines says, good evening to all here. We have a Buckeye there in the chat. Tall Dude says, if I were a Michigan fan, I would not worry too much about this game. All right. You know what's funny? I'm going to bring Johnny up in a second. Is that I have that feeling, that unknown feeling, the feeling of the unknown going into this game. One of the things I'm worrying about, me and Johnny are going to talk about this, is how the Penn State quarterback is going to play at home. We saw how he played in the horseshoe. He didn't look too good in the horseshoe, but there's something about being at home. There's something about being in front of your home fans in that atmosphere. So that's one of the things I'm looking for. How's Drew Aller going to play at home? How's that whole team going to play at home? But with that, everyone, I'm going to bring up Johnny Olden, and we're going to walk through some things, and we're going to talk about what's going on with the program, and then also Saturday's game. Everybody, welcome back, the great Johnny Olden. What's going on, Johnny?
How you doing, bro? Thanks for having me.
Good. All right. Hope you're feeling better.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was a doozy. It was. Yes. I went. What is it? 0 dark 30 for about a week. I was feeling horrible.
You know what? You know what's funny? I think it was the night of the Michigan State game, and these night games have been killing me too, man. Like Saturday night, I almost didn't want to do that stream on Saturday night, but I said, you know what? Just tough it out. And they haven't announced the time for the Maryland game yet, so I'm hoping they don't put that at 7:30.
I hope it's not, bro.
Yeah.
I've had it. We've had what four night games.
Yep.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough.
Okay, we have a salute to you in the chat there from Nuber. You get
my voice is so, I'm getting off this sickness. I can't even say it like I normally do. I start coughing.
All right. So hold on, Johnny. My resident super fan is here. So I have to give him his Nick Saban greeting. Hold on.
All right, and I'm going to continue to live that way and try to do what's right. And, you know, that's who Nick Saban is. All right, so regardless of what anybody says, that's who Nick Saban is.
All right, guys, one more thing before we start. I'm not going to conjure Brad Hawkins tonight. I I do that because 2 years ago, Johnny called him to the carpet a little bit. But I was thinking, to get a scholarship to play at Michigan or Ohio State or Penn State, you got to have some talent. You got to be able to play. So if Brad Hawkins watches this, man, I was doing that out of respect. You know, we wouldn't be talking about you if you didn't matter. All right. So Johnny, let's jump in. So it's Penn State week. We've been waiting all season for this particular stretch right here. We got the Penn State game, a potential trap game actually here in the DMV next week with Maryland, and then we've got the big game, which some of the Buckeye fans might be sweating about right now. But let me pull this up. What are your thoughts on the season thus far?
The season has been it's been a breath of fresh air, a cakewalk from the team. It's just all the speculation, investigation stuff that's made it a whirlwind. It's made it a real roller coaster for Michigan. But as far as the schedule, it's been, Michigan, the team has just been rolling and getting better pretty much all season. Because, we had injuries at – hold on, let me mute that. My bad.
Googly muggly. What in the infest?
My bad.
I never heard that before.
We had all those injuries at first. And then in the secondary, Rod Moore, Will Johnson, Amarian Walker, and some of the running backs. Now everybody's getting healthy. The zones, everything's looking crisp. Sharon Moore, nobody's on suspension. He's got his mojo. So everything is just kind of clicking for the most part. We'd like the run game to be a little bit better, but as far as the team is playing very well right now.
Okay. So it's pretty much up to this point what we expected. And we're going to talk about the investigation in a brief way. But it's funny. That's one of the things that, Abdul Gaines came in here and said one of his usual jokes, which is finally the Section 6 season is over for the Wolverines. So he's essentially saying Michigan has been playing a high school schedule. And that's that's been one of the criticisms or one of the slanders thrown at the program during this whole sign stealing, illegal scouting thing, is that, well, how'd they turn their season around? The last 3 seasons, there was such a turnaround from what was happening pre-COVID. Well, I mean, all of us have been upfront about the fact that this hasn't been one of the toughest schedules in all of college football this year. So this is pretty much what we all expected. Yeah. And the playoff committee, based upon their initial rankings, it's pretty much what they've acknowledged as well by putting Ohio State number 1. Go ahead.
Yeah, Michigan's schedule it was an easy schedule for up to this point. I mean, that's obvious, but the thing that's impressive is Michigan's not struggling with any of these teams. Ohio State struggled last week with Rutgers. Michigan didn't struggle at all with Rutgers. Blew them out. Ohio State was in a dogfight in that third quarter, about to have real problems with Rutgers in the red zone. And he threw a pick 6, okay, we got some breathing room, but that happened. Indiana, Penn State was in a dogfight 2 weeks ago against Indiana, a real dogfight, so you can say Michigan hasn't played anybody. Yeah, well, we played Indiana. We blew their doors off. Rutgers, yeah, we blew their doors off too. So, so you can say that, but Michigan ain't struggling. They just, put whoever's there, we knocking them on out, so that's that.
Okay. Now, as we transition into the investigation, I mean, last year, Michigan defeated, Colorado State, Hawaii, and I can't think of the other team, but we beat them handily. We had the whole quarterback competition, but even they ran the table up until TCU. But even some of those games last year were not blowout victories. Some of those games we were expecting JJ to blow the doors off, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, they struggled with, what was it, Illinois.
We
scraped out of there.
At least the first half of that Rutgers game was close. The Maryland game at home.
Yeah.
Talia missed that completion in the middle of the field. That would have changed that. Blake carried the team for most of the first part of last season. So it's not like last season Michigan was blowing everybody out by 40 or 50 points. And then definitely that the previous year, the Cinderella year when Cade was quarterbacking, we definitely weren't blowing teams out by 40, 50 points. So, one of the arguments is, well, look at the record the last 2 to 3 years. A lot of those games were not blowout games.
No, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, because it's lazy. I got this from what's his name, Chris and Zach on Minister Sports. They say it's a lazy fan take, and that's what it is. I've been using it because I like it now, but that's what it is, because they don't do the homework. Once Michigan changed all those coordinators, Don Brown, running back coach, offensive coordinators, they changed all those guys, got better ones, and you can see that. But now you go through 2021, you win the Big Ten, go to the playoff, lose to Georgia, come back, same expectations. Now you got a different quarterback, higher caliber quarterback also with JJ 2022, run through the Big Ten, a little easier this year, a little easier last year, team a little better. Now, this year, so you got 2 years with a lot of those players still on this team this year that understand how to win, what they have to do to win, and what the expectation is now. So you ain't playing a bunch of dudes that expect to lose anymore. They got winner mentality now. We understand how to practice. We understand how to train. We understand how to focus and not play around. We about to smack y'all in the mouth. You can like it, love it, hate it. Guess what? You're going to get your doors blown off. So that's what people are understanding is the culture has changed. Shout out to Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Ross, Brad Hawkins. Shout out to Olden boys. They changed the culture. Dax Hill, Ojabo, they changed the culture to what it is now. Fast forward, these dudes are winners. They have winner mentality now.
Yeah. And it's notable. They talked about it. Jim went with a younger coaching staff, and most notably on the defensive side of the ball. You know, we were getting crushed with Don Brown's Viper defense against higher caliber opponents. We were getting crushed
every time
in the big games against Ohio State and against Penn State. And that was a huge change in the program. And also Jim taking his hands off the offense and allowing someone to come in with some more creativity and with a modern approach. So all the critics and naysayers have to look at that as well when that argument is made about the last 2 to 3 years post-COVID.
You know, they're not going to dive that deep into it. You know they're not going to dive that deep into it. It's just easier to say y'all cheating. That's all it is. Y'all cheated, and that's what you get the dividends from it.
Okay. Everyone, if by chance you want to make a donation to the channel, my Cash App and PayPal are there. The Super Chat is live as well. All right, so let's just get this out of the way just a little bit. So woke up to some good news this morning. It turns out that President Santa Ono is saying, hold on, everybody, pump your brakes, knock it off, let the whole thing play out. Just let the whole thing play out. You're not going to railroad us. You're not going to pressure the president into doing something not well thought out, and you're not going to pressure the president into doing something. Everybody just kind of back off. So that was good. So the university's pushing back a little bit against everyone else. You want to see that, but also, one of the usual suspects came out with some criticism himself from the SEC. None other than Paul, Mr. Alabama, Paul Finebaum, has no confidence in Tony Petitti handling severe punishment for Michigan or Jim Harbaugh. So this is part of the political thing where now you have some of the talking heads, and they've been doing this for the last 2 weeks, some of the talking heads weighing in and applying pressure in their own way. Johnny, you want to talk a little bit about what you've been experiencing over on your channel with folks coming and, you guys are cheaters, you guys are doing this, you guys are doing that, you guys shouldn't be able to play. What have you experienced?
It's just really Ohio State fans. You get other fan bases a little bit, but Ohio State fans, they're just relentless right now with the cheating and, oh, you guys are delusional. And, I've made multiple videos saying Connor Stallions was up to something. Don't know exactly what it was for sure, and if the staff knew what he was doing. So I can't say fact or fiction. I'm waiting for the NCAA to see. Oh, you're making excuses for this. Well, how is that an excuse that I'm waiting for the NCAA to tell us what's fact and what's fiction? I just don't get it. Like, you want me to just be on here just yelling, "Oh, fire Jim Harbaugh"? No, that would make you happy. That's what you want. That's what they want. Jim Harbaugh gone. Now Michigan is in shambles, trying to figure out their next coaching hire, and they can go back to dominating Michigan. That's all it's really about. They're in their feelings. They want those wins vacated. I don't care if they vacate him. Honestly, that's my take on it. I'm sorry. Some people care. I don't. I've got the memories. I don't need the win. I don't have a sheet of. I don't have a Rolodex or something in my phone with. Oh, okay, these are all the wins. I don't need to. I got it right here. I can still see Donovan Edwards running down that field.
That was a glorious sight.
I can still see Hassan Haskins jumping over that Ohio State player. I can still see Aiden Hutchinson sacking CJ Stroud. I got the memories. You take the wins. You ain't taking my memories, so it don't matter. It's just going to make Ohio State fans feel better because they can say, look, they took your wins. Look. But we all got the memories. That's what I'm trying to get them to understand. It's not going to change anything. We all saw it. It's not going to change anything.
Okay. So a Fab Five Reggie Bush thing where they come back and take away trophies and stuff, that doesn't bother you?
No. The only way it would bother me somewhat is if we won the title and then they tried to take the actual title trophy, But even then, we've been down for so long. Once I get the memory of us raising that trophy, it's a wrap. I don't care what anybody says. I promise you, I don't. I'm gonna make my video, and because I'm gonna change my little entrance to the running the Big Ten with the holding the trophy. They can take it. I'm still gonna post it every time because we will be the champs. Nothing's gonna change it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would hurt a little bit, but we know Reggie Bush won that Heisman. We know USC won those rings. Like, it doesn't really change anything because we watched the games.
Right. That's right. You still got to line them up and play. All right. Penn State week. Let's take a quick look at the current rankings. We'll do the AP top 25 first. So right now, I'll just do the top 10. Georgia's number 1. We're number 2. Ohio State is number 3 here. Florida State's number 4. Washington's number 5. Oregon's number 10. I'm sorry, Oregon's number 6. Texas is number 7. Bama's number 8. Penn State is number 9. So they're looking to move up against us this week. So that's the top 10. Now that's the AP. Now the college football playoff rankings are a little different. They have Ohio State for now at number 1. And so the big talk there is they've had the best resume thus far of all the teams out there. Though people are now, with those Notre Dame losses, people are now looking and saying, okay, well, maybe that wasn't such a quality win as everybody said it was.
And I think everybody knows Ohio State isn't the best team in the country right now. I think everybody knows that.
Okay. So everyone, this is going to move. This is going to change within the next couple of weeks, depending upon what happens on Saturday and also depending upon what happens in 2 weeks. This is going to change. All right. So Johnny, so you're on your channel, I think Penn State's biggest game thus far has been at Ohio State. So I'll go first. So when I watched that game, I was, Fox and all the TV stations, they're showing the graphic of the boxers and their individual colors. That's what I was expecting. And I was waiting for Penn State to punch Ohio State in the mouth. I was waiting for them to throw a deep ball. I was waiting for them to do something. And they never did. So their defense, it looks physical. It looks well coached. Manny Diaz likes to blitz. But I think the question is, what kind of offense are they going to have? And the question I have is Drew Aller, well, he'll be more comfortable at home, but do you expect to see something different from what we saw at the Horseshoe?
I don't expect to see that much of a difference because their flaws as an offense with their their lack of speed at receiver or big play ability at receiver, or their play calling, you might say, that's still a problem for them. And the big thing that I took out of that game is when the floodgates just opened up for Ohio State's D-line to just come through at will, rushing forward. And those offensive linemen, they didn't want nothing to do with them dudes. Nothing to do with them. And Ohio State's got good D linemen. They're not all that. I mean, Jack Sawyer and Williams and those boys, they're good players, and JTT, they're good players, but they ain't like Chase Young or the Bosas or something like that. Like, they're not that. So for them to be, they just kind of quit. And I know somebody's gonna be like, they didn't quit. No, they quit. They were just letting them dudes back there. They were just letting them back there and looking back like, let's just end this, guys. Like, I don't want to do this anymore against these guys. So to me, if an offensive line does that, all you have to do is push them enough and they'll fall right back into that same mentality. We don't want nothing to do with this D-line and what they're coming with. Sorry, quarterback. Sorry, you're going to be on your back. These boys is tough. You're going to be on your back all game because these boys is tough. And I think, Michigan's scheme is different from Ohio State's, but Jesse Minter, he can call a game similar to Jim Knowles if he wants to. He'll blitz all day. You can't handle it, okay, here come the exotic blitzes. Here come, exotic guys dropping in, dropping out where the offensive line is just confused. You don't know who's coming or who's dropping into coverage and who's coming, or he'll just bring the house, So to me, it could be the same way. And you've put it on film now, though. With Ohio State, we were waiting to see, like, these boys kind of just letting it go. Now we see it. So we've seen it now. So we know that quit is in them. I know Jesse Minter is watch that film of them against Ohio State, and he's saying the same thing. Yeah, it's some quit in them. Y'all see this? It's some quit in them. You keep bull rushing them. You keep speed rushing them. You keep hitting them with that spin move. They're going to quit. Now, will they? You got to make them. But we saw them do it, so.
Okay, the big brother, he says something interesting here. He says, Maryland is a trash team, and they went toe-to-toe with Ohio for 3.5 quarters. So what? Penn State put up 51 points against Maryland. Do you think that's an artifact of Maryland just being a lower-tier Big Ten opponent, or has Penn State found something?
No, I think Maryland's Maryland's fell apart at this point. What's Maryland like? What they got, like 3-4 losses now?
Yeah, Maryland. Yeah, they're 2-4 in the conference.
They boo-boo now. They boo-boo. It's that fell apart for Maryland. When that loss to Ohio State, I don't know if it broke them or what, but their season done went down the drain. I thought they were going to be promising, but that promise has drifted away. So I didn't take much from that. To me, it was just like, okay, Maryland's done. They're done. I'm not sure what happened to them to where they've just fallen apart, because they were rolling, but that is gone. It seems like since that Ohio State game, they've just fell all the way off. So I didn't take much from Penn State blowing them out. The week before they were in a dogfight with Indiana, where they basically, the game went almost to the end. Like, Indiana had them on the ropes, so That's the game that I really looked at, because Maryland is I don't know what's going on with them.
Right. Okay. Well, I think one thing we can agree on, if Penn State plays against us, but they played against Ohio State, then that we should win that one going away. Yeah, I was just surprised they didn't take any shots, legitimate shots down the field. I didn't see any real tight end action over the middle. They just didn't seem to have anything.
That's been their offense for the most part. Now they've tried to open it up a little bit, but that's still not what the season's almost over. So at this point, you kind of know what your bread and butter and what we do consistently well. And that's what they do. They run the ball, dinking and dunking it with a LAR, So I just feel like you shut down the running backs, and then you make a LAR beat you. Because just like I said, the offensive line, he wilted also. He looked like a scared puppy out there. He'll be at home, but it don't matter if you at home or on the road. When them dogs start screaming past your offensive lineman, throwing you in that dirt, you ain't gonna feel like you at home no more. It don't feel like a home, So that's the thing. If Michigan's D-line is doing what they can do and what I think they will be able to do, whether that's getting to them, getting sacks, or just getting consistent pressure, it ain't gonna matter that they're at home. It's gonna matter that this offensive line ain't blocking for me. That's what matters.
Right. Nuber says Alar is a check down merchant.
Nope. So. He's the merchant of check downs.
Okay. So before we go to the prediction and the stats, what did you see this weekend against Purdue? Antoine said something interesting in my post game analysis, which was that Purdue defense used a 3-down lineman and was designed to shut down the runs up the middle. So similar to the TCU game, Michigan should have started turning it outwards earlier, and that's why the Samaj Morgan touchdown was successful the way that it was. Do you think that they exposed something, or Michigan just didn't adjust early enough in that game?
I think it's a little bit of both, and also they weren't running JJ, so this year JJ has to be a bigger part of the run game when it's struggling. He has to be a part of it, keeping that end from crashing down, tackling Blake and Donovan, keeping him honest, because JJ gonna keep it on the read. Of course, they didn't do that against Purdue because you don't want JJ to get hurt before Penn State. So JJ didn't run it at all. So that was part of it. And also, who was that? The defense designed to clog the middle. He came from Illinois, I believe, last year. So he was at Illinois last year, and they gave us fits at Illinois last year.
That's when Blake blew his knee out.
Yeah. So that's part of it. And plus the offensive line isn't where we want it to be. So that was too. But Blake was frustrated. I noticed him going to the sideline, yelling and frustrated about it, But it is what it is. But you have to notice that in Sharon Moore, he was smart enough to see, okay, let me hit him with the reverse or the jet sweep. 50 yards later, that fast touchdown.
Okay. Now, I know we've switched out Oluwatimi for Drake Nugent. So Oluwatimi, he graduated. Is Drake Nugent the only lineman that's different? Because
they got Henderson. Where did he come from?
Okay.
They got like 3 dudes that transferred in. Henderson and Miles Hinton, I think, from Stanford.
Okay.
Hinton was quite horrible. He looks the part. He's about 6'7", 3 something. But looking the part ain't good enough. He's just sometimes you get on the field and you don't, know what to do, but you don't react. You just do the basic things. So
Okay.
Hinton would get on the field and he'd be double teaming the guy when he could go to the second level and block this guy that's about to make the tackle. And he'd just be double teaming this guy and watch this guy make the tackle. What are you doing? Go block him. He'd do that type of stuff, So that's why he's not playing anymore. Henderson does okay, but he still has problems sometimes. So the offensive line, they've got guys that have a lot of snaps, but they're still not clicking like you would want them to be, comparing them to the offensive lines we've had. So that's that also. You're comparing them to two Joe or more winning offensive lines.
Yeah. That run blocking chemistry is critical. As I said, that Tom Brady senior year, A-Train was back there, but he wasn't popping off runs like he was the next year. And so that offensive line chemistry is critical. And there's something missing right now.
Yeah. And
because Blake was breaking off long runs last year.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And they're just not there. They're just not there like that. And I don't think you need him to pop off those runs. I mean, it's always nice to, but I think the team is just different. You have to throw to set up the run this year. That's just our best player on offense is JJ now. I think that's just the fact. Like from 20 to the 5, it's JJ. Now, once you get to that 5 on in, you hand that rock to Blake. But from there, from the 20 on in, like 20 to 20, it's JJ's show for real. Like he has to be the one to take the pressure off so Blake can get his yards.
Okay. I think Saturday might have been the most times he's thrown the ball this year, because it was up in the 30s.
Yeah, because he was still in the fourth quarter.
Attempts. Oh, there you go. His struggles and kind of throwing behind some of the guys. You think that was just, mid-season, just coming off the bye?
He's been known to do that now, but coming off the bye, because I said this before on one of my probably that Purdue video. I hated that the timing of the bye, because Michigan State, he just shredded them. He shredded them. He missed maybe one or two throws, but everything was on point, like NFL caliber throws against Michigan State. And then you get the bye week, so you got almost 2 weeks before you play again. Now a little bit rust, but even those throws he made, he was still like 70%. Mm-hmm. So even saying he was behind, it's nitpicking because, you play a higher caliber of players, Penn State, Ohio State, they might be able to get a pick off of one of those throws that are a little bit behind. But, it could still be considered nitpicking because he was 70%. So, I guess it's a good problem right now,
Okay. All right, let's go to the prediction. So Michigan right now is predicted. Where is it? Why is that showing? Hold on a second. Shoot. Let me pull that back up. Hold on. All right, here we go. So right now, according to this publication, Michigan is picked to win this game by 7 points. So they're going a little bit conservative. But as we described, if Penn State can't put up any offense, if they can't generate any offense, then yeah, Michigan should beat them by 20 points or more. Yeah. Well, I know your prediction on your channel was that that Michigan will win this one going away. You still feel that way?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, I do. I think the consistency it takes to beat a Jesse Minter defense, I just don't think they're going to have it on offense. You have to have a ton of consistency, not only in the throw game, but in the run game also. Like, you're going to need a complete offense, and you're going to need a quarterback that really understands what the defense is doing and how to attack it. And I don't think Allah is ready for that. Like
that Dugan kid from TCU.
Yeah, because even when we blitzed, he knew, okay, these dudes are coming. I'm about to backpedal 10 steps, you know. But he knew what he was doing. Ball out. He knew what it was coming and how to attack it.
Okay. All right. So they're predicting 7 points. I think we all think it's going to be more. So we'll take a quick look at the standings, then the stats, then we'll wrap this up. Let me see. So this is going to, everyone, in the next 3 weeks, this is going to work itself out. So right there at the top of the Big Ten East, we're tied with Ohio State. We're both 6-0. Penn State is right under us at 5-1. So this whole thing is about to separate out even more. Over in the Big Ten West, Iowa is leading the Big Ten West at 4-2. And the winner of the Big Ten East should win that game against that opponent pretty easily. Looking at things right now. And then let's go over some of the statistics. I was looking at these earlier before we started the stream. And let me know if you have anything that you want to point out, Johnny. So right now, in terms of scoring offense, Michigan leads the Big Ten in scoring offense with an average of 40 points per game. Penn State is right there under us. We're 40.7. Penn State is 40.2. We lead the Big Ten in scoring defense. Penn State is number 3 in terms of scoring defense. Let's see, in terms of yardage, total yardage. We lead the Big Ten with 424.2 yards per game. Penn State is at number 4 with 394 yards per game. So that stat right there, that's a bit of an imbalance right there. So that right there will probably put us out ahead of them by quite a bit once that final gun goes off. In terms of total defense, we're 1-2. Michigan and Penn State are 1-2. Okay, so in terms of, let's take a quick look at rushing and passing. We are 3-4 right now in terms of rushing. Penn State is just above us with an average of 173.2 yards per game. Michigan is at 167.1 yards per game in terms of rushing defense. Penn State leads the Big Ten in rushing defense. It looks like they're allowing 60.6 yards per game. Michigan is allowing 90.1. Not a big difference. And then passing. Michigan is number 3 in the Big Ten in terms of passing offense. We're averaging 257.1 yards per game. Penn State is averaging 220.8 yards per game. Michigan is leading the Big Ten in passing defense, allowing 141.3 yards per game. Penn State is allowing 173.9 yards per game. So JJ should have JJ should be able to move the ball pretty easily and pretty well against that Penn State defense.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Him to be able to move that ball.
Okay.
It's just too many weapons.
Okay. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. So I think we're both picking Michigan to win, and to win the games at least somewhat decisively. This will be the biggest test for them this season. My only question is, how comfortable will Alar be at home? You suggested it's not going to make much of a difference, but also how's our team going to play in that hostile environment with everybody so revved up? Because there's going to be a lot of nerves, at kickoff, and there's a lot at stake for both teams. So.
I think Michigan's team. I think they embrace that. It seems like it's been like that since since 2021, where they've kind of, that was the year when they started. Michigan went to Nebraska and they took over their little music, whether it was or Wisconsin jump around and all that stuff. Yeah. So I've got those videos on my on my page as shorts, and Nebraska and Wisconsin fans, y'all didn't take over anything. I'm like, okay, this is like 3 years old, man. Like, but I think they've embraced that ever since 2021. They've embraced going to other people's, stadiums and hushing the crowd up, shutting the crowd up, taunting them with whatever, they were doing the Nebraska Cornhusker things. They shut up the shoe last year. The shoe, you'll never win in the shoe. JJ out there like he's prom king. So I think they kind of embrace that stuff now, and it's you got the dogs to embrace it.
Right. Well, what's funny is you mentioned those two Donovan Edwards runs, but the Cornelius Johnson touchdowns, those are the ones that let me know, okay, we're in this.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared. I was like, all right, so we beat them at home last year. It was snowing. CJ Stroud wasn't feeling well. But I was like, okay, they're gonna have revenge on their minds. But once Cornelius caught that ball, broke that tackle, and turned it upfield, and then once JJ threw that deep bomb to him on the zero coverage, I said, okay, we're in this. We're in this one.
Exactly. And we probably still win that game even without those Donovan runs, honestly. I mean, it just made it wonderful for us just to, okay, it's over, but we probably still win without him. I know they couldn't barely move the ball.
Yeah. Well, at that point, Michigan was just trying to kill the clock. So that was just like icing on the cake. Both those runs were icing on the cake.
Exactly.
So, yeah, the big brother says the Colston Loveland TD ended the game. That's another element to our offense that I really like is the two big tight ends, Colston Loveland and AJ Barner.
Exactly, and that's why I say it's so hard to stop, because those dudes they're basically NFL tight ends. Barner's been around a long time, and Loveland's just a freak of nature. So you got two dudes like that. That's like two NFL tight ends right now. And then you got Roman, who is just fast. He's just a burner, and he's taking his craft more serious this year. And Cornelius is just – he can be a bonehead sometimes, and he can also be the dude that had 150 and some in the first half against Ohio State, But he's still a good player. He just, might drop a touchdown when you don't want him to.
I was going to ask you what you meant by a bonehead.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
he leaves plays out there?
Yeah, he's known to do that. But you can go back to him and he'll make a big play, you know. So and you know, sometimes even I do this. I'm harder on these players than I should be a lot of the times because we want them to be robots. We want them to be robots or Madden or something, you know, but they're human. You make a mistake, just like you at work. You don't make a mistake when you at work sometimes, you know. It's the same thing, you know. He dropped the touchdown the other day. He dropped the touchdown earlier in the year. But he came back, made a big play. JJ threw the flea flicker, it was short. Cornelius tips it to himself, makes a unbelievable play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So none of these guys are perfect, but the thing I like about Cornelius and why I got trust in him, because he'll miss a play, then he'll usually make up for it. You know, it's not just like, oh, he's just making bad play after bad play. No, I messed up. Okay, make good play, mess up. You know, it's not a consistent thing, him just not showing up.
Well, you know, Johnny, I don't know if you remember, but Cornelius's freshman year was the COVID year, and Cornelius helped end Joe Milton's career as a Wolverine. In the Rutgers game, Joe Milton started off like with 3 straight completions. They got down in there in the red zone, and he threw a ball to Cornelius, and the ball like bounced off his hands and got picked off. Joe Milton was never the same after that. Because remember, Cade finished that game.
Oh yeah, okay.
And
Joe, Joe was throwing them lasers.
Yeah, I was rooting for Joe. I was like, okay, Joe's got 3 to 4 completions. He's on a roll, and then he threw that ball to Cornelius, and it went boop. And the Rutgers player intercepted it. So, all right, Johnny, do you have anything else?
That's all I got, y'all. I appreciate y'all joining in. Subscribe to Big Discussions 76. Y'all that are subscribed to my page, you know, help him out. He's got good content, and I'd come over here whenever he asks me. It's no problem, you know.
All right, I appreciate that. Yes, that.
Sir.
Yeah, when I was getting going, someone said, "Do you know Johnny Olden?" I was like, "Nope." But I've been watching ever since, and yeah, man, your coverage is it's second to none.
I appreciate it, bro.
All right, everyone. Hey, kickoff this week is at noon, so find a comfortable place, and let's see what happens. Everything is pointing towards, knock on wood, a Wolverine W. So I'm going to wind the stream down. Everyone, thank you for watching. If you're watching on the playback, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to donate something to the channel, that information is below in the description box. You can leave a super thanks. You guys know I have my newsletter. I'm a writer. That's in the description box as well. So yeah, look for a post-game show, not late at night this time, but shortly after the Penn State game. So I'll look out for that, and look out. You guys know Johnny, so look out for his expert analysis as well. So with that, everyone, I'm going to wrap up. So go blue.
Go blue.
Remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and we will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.